2026 feels like it's going to be an amazing year for music so far, and I'm so excited. If you're new here, my name is Zipporah, and I do all things music. I do music commentary, video essays, music curation, the whole nine. So if you like that too, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out my other videos as well. But there's been a lot going on this week, so let's recap. So A$AP Rocky just dropped his new single, Punk Rocky, and the fans are kind of split on like what they think about the song. For me, I do like it, and I have posted my initial thoughts on my short. Be sure to check that out if you haven't. I personally like the song. I feel like he's going to be very experimental with this next project, and I'm excited to see what he has in store. But other people think the track is whack. They don't like the direction that he's heading. I know that a lot of people didn't like his last album, Testing, because he experimented with that as well. So I don't know. I feel like it depends on your preference. I'm not the biggest A$AP Rocky fan, y'all, but I did like some of the songs off of Testing. His new single reminds me of his song Sundress, and I really like that song. So I don't have any problems, but if you're not into that like rock, punk rock, alternative sound, then I can understand why you don't like it. But I feel like everybody should give it a try and just live with the music for a little bit before you just say something is trash. In other news, there's a lot of releases coming up, and R&B is back, y'all. R&B is so back, and I'm here for it. So Ari Lennox is dropping her new album, Vacancy, on January 23rd. And she's dropped a couple singles so far. She dropped Vacancy, she dropped Soft Girl Era, and then Under the Moon. I love Vacancy, I love Under the Moon, but that Soft Girl Era song is not for me. I really want her to leave Jermaine Dupri alone. Leave him at the studio. Shea Butter Baby was an amazing, perfect album. And from there, I just feel like things have gone downhill. And Jermaine Dupri just keeps making this commercialized, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like very commercial radio hit type of songs for her. And that's not, I feel like he's tarnishing her music. Maybe she likes it, I don't know, but I hate it. And so do a lot of other fans. Shea Butter Baby was the perfect lane for her. Not saying that she has to replicate that exact album, but I don't think the route that Jermaine Dupri is heading is what's best for her. And I feel like that's also why her sales aren't as high. And it hurts me to see that stuff because I love Ari Lennox down. She's a DMV girly just like myself, and I'm here for her. I just want her to continue locking in and push out something amazing. But Jermaine Dupri needs to be left at home. Brian Michael Cox, though, is helping produce this album, so that does give me hope. But I don't know, y'all, we'll see. Bruno Mars also just announced that he's dropping an album as well. It's been 10 years since he's dropped his last album, 24K Magic, which is crazy. It's been 10 years. But this album is titled The Romantic, and he's dropping that on February 27th. I'm really excited about this as well. I do love Bruno Mars. The Silk Sonic project, I feel like, was perfect. I love Anderson .Paak, and I just feel like both of them together blend and mesh really well. I'm recording this earlier in the week, but you guys aren't going to see this till Friday. But he is dropping a new single on Friday, and he also announced his tour. I'll probably have a review up of what I think of the single next week, but the tour is stacked, y'all. If you're an R&B lover like myself, that tour, the people that are performing with him is stacked. The list is stacked, y'all. We have Anderson .Paak, we have Victoria Monet, we have Leon Thomas, and we have Ray. R&B is back. Like, you cannot say that R&B is not back. And he's doing a stadium tour, so I will be there. With this lineup, just take all my money. Jill Scott is actually dropping an album as well. She announced that she's dropping her album To Whom This May Concern on February 13th. And she actually dropped a single called Beautiful People, which is an amazing track, y'all. If you do love Jill Scott, that neo soul songs, please go check it out if you haven't. It's a beautiful track. And it makes me feel like we're just heading back in time to like the early 2000s with R&B, and this is what I've been yearning for. Don't get me wrong, I love a lot of the new R&B girlies and boys, but I feel like R&B has definitely shifted in a different direction. And I'll save my rant for another video, but I feel like we are so back. In other news, the Governor's Ball Music Festival dropped their lineup, and Baby Keem is one of the people on this list. So is he dropping? I feel like he is. He's headlining another festival, I believe, in August. I gotta fact check, but I believe it's in August, and he has to be dropping an album, y'all. Hopefully we get a single soon. Melodic Blue is one of my favorite projects that has dropped within the last 10 years, so I know he's gonna put out great quality work. I just want something. We need something. You gotta feed us, Keem. But hopefully we get like a visual or something soon. Him and Kendrick are very strategic on how they drop, when they drop. Everything is just so calculated. So I'm sure he has like a rollout planned, but I just want to see something soon. In other news in relation to Kendrick, So Soundwave made a recent Instagram post where he's just been putting videos of him in the studio and things that he's been working on. And on one of the slides, there was a snippet of Kendrick rapping over a beat. So everybody's going crazy right now. And the big question is Kendrick dropping again? Personally, I don't feel like he's dropping again. Kendrick is very calculated. I just feel like this might be like a throwaway track. It doesn't sound like GNX to me, but for all we know, I don't know, we could be getting another Untitled Unmastered. People have speculated that there's a GNX deluxe, but Kendrick is not a deluxe type of guy. He only released a deluxe for Good Kid, Mad City, if I'm not mistaken. And then for the other albums, he's had like a special release or like a 10-year anniversary vinyl version. But other than that, he does not do deluxe albums. So I will be very surprised if he does drop a deluxe. I don't know. This man is very unpredictable, but the snippet sounds cool. The production sounds crazy, but I'm gonna need something else if we are getting something. Who knows? Honestly, I don't know with Kendrick. You can never predict anything this man does. I know this is the big talk in hip hop with the Adin Ross and Doechii situation, which honestly truly pisses me off, especially as a black woman. Streaming honestly has ruined a lot, and I feel like a lot of people have ingrained themselves into the hip hop space and community, and you don't really have anything to do with this space. You're not knowledgeable about anything. You just run your mouth and you have a big platform, and that's pretty much it. But if you've been living under a rock, last year during the Met Gala, there was a moment where Doechii was seen yelling like, "Give me my umbrellas, where are my umbrellas?" to her assistants, and a lot of people felt some type of way, saying that she was disrespectful. Why is she talking to her assistants like that? You know, the whole nine. But Adin Ross went on his stream and called her out. He called her unintelligent, entitled, ungrateful, and continued to just call her out her name. Fast forward to last month, Doechii released a new single called Girl Get Up, but during the track, she addressed a lot of people, calling her an industry plant. She didn't say anybody's name, but, you know, if the shoe fits, lace it up, if you know what I mean. But Adin Ross felt like she was throwing shade towards him, so he went on his stream again and addressed her. So after this, Adin Ross took it upon himself to collaborate with Weirdo, Tekashi 6ix9ine, and another streamer by the name of Cuff'em. I don't know who the hell these people are. I really wish we would stop giving all these people platforms. They all went on the track and basically addressed a bunch of rappers and people that they've had beef with. So Cuff'em has beef with Lil TJ. 6ix9ine is trying to reignite the beef he has with Lil Durk. Then Adin Ross decides to beef with Doechii on the track, which is the weirdest thing ever. On this track, Adin took it upon himself to call her everything under the sun. So after this, the feud spread and a lot of people have been calling Adin Ross out. You know, Joe Budden has gotten involved. Glasses Malone threatened to harm him, and Joe Budden also co-signed this as well. Let me share my thoughts on this whole thing. Going back to the Met Gala situation, you know, he has every right to say how he feels. You know, you have freedom of speech. And when I did see the initial clip of Doechii like screaming at the assistants, I also felt like it was wrong, in my opinion. She probably felt very pressured in that moment. You know, the Met Gala is something huge. This is like your debut year. You drop your album, like everybody knows your name. You know, sometimes even people with anxiety, you might not react the way you wanted to, but because maybe you're overstimulated, you might react in a negative way. It doesn't make it right, but I totally understand like both sides of it. To call her unintelligent just because she was screaming, "Where are my umbrellas?" is the dumbest thing ever, though. None of that correlates with the situation. I feel like Adin Ross is a racist. You know, call it what it is. You reaching for the stars with all of this stuff over a small situation just shows how unintelligent you are. Doechii went on to apologize and explain the situation, so I feel like we should just move forward from that. But going into the current situation with him dropping a diss track with a bunch of weirdos, I feel like it just shows who you are and your character. Doechii did not even address you by name, so if you feel that hurt or upset by it, why don't you go and reach out to her? Why are you making a diss track? Yeah, I guess we can infer maybe she's talking about him, but she didn't say no names. So, but you taking time out of your day to create a diss track, and not only just a diss track with yourself, with one of the biggest weirdos of like the 2010s, just shows your character for real. And I really wish we would stop giving these people a platform, especially these men who just dedicate their day to day just spewing hate and ignorance. And then you have a bunch of young people on your platform watching you who are influenced by you, and they do the same thing and go out in public. Yeah, you have your own free will, but you know, when you're a teen, like, you think you know everything, you're so grown, but a lot of teens are immature and they're mimicking exactly what you do. He actually lost a huge collaboration deal with the NBA, which I'm glad glad, because we don't need to be funding people like this when you're spewing hate continuously. Doechii didn't do anything to you. It's never that deep. It was never that deep. I hope all of this just dies out. Doechii's continuing to move on with her career. The Girl Get Up single was very good. If you haven't listened to it, definitely go check it out. He's saying she fell off. She just released an album. How can you fall off and you just released an album? Make it make sense. Just because somebody's not like Drake, for example, putting out singles every other month, albums every year, doesn't mean somebody fell off. We have really lost the plot when it comes to music production, what it means to actually be an artist, and how the music industry works for real. You do not need to push out an album every year to stay relevant. I feel like if your music is that good, it'll speak for itself and your fans will love you. Do you know how many artists there are out there who have the biggest fan bases and you have no idea who they are? There are so many musicians out here and they're not pushing out albums every year. To create quality and well-crafted albums, that honestly takes time. You cannot rush greatness. This doesn't even just apply to music. For sports, being an athlete, anything in the creative realm, it always takes time. But let me know what y'all think about this whole Adin Ross Doechii situation. And with all of these new releases, who are you guys most excited to hear? But thank you guys for watching and stay tuned for my next video.